All right, guys. So let's go over how to actually analyze products, wholesale products at least on Amazon, and how to start finding your first wholesale accounts and make it very painless and simple. So the first thing we're going to do is look at some quick scanning filters that I'm looking for. And this is all you really need to know. So when you're quickly going through a list of products on Amazon, and I source from Amazon, and I'll show you exactly how I do that once we go through the criteria here. Um, the first thing I'm looking for is that Amazon is not currently a seller, or has not been for a while. The reason is I don't really care to compete with Amazon. You may feel differently about that, and that's totally your choice. But for people getting started, just avoid it. There's so many great products and profitable products on Amazon that you don't have to compete with Amazon and make it harder than it should be. So number two, I'm looking for at least 3 FBA sellers. The reason for that is when you get below that, you start looking at a lot of private label products that you, of course, are not going to get because they're private label. And you just don't want to waste your time analyzing and looking further into those products. So 3 or 4 minimally is fantastic. I would say to even look at least 4. Number 3, it meets our category rankings. Obviously, a rank within category of toys is completely different than home and kitchen. So if you don't know that off the top of your head, and you probably don't, that's okay. Default for below 50,000 regardless of the rank, because we're going to second filter it again once we look a little bit closer in on that product. And number 4, the price of the product, so the buy box, is at least $20, preferably more, but minimally $20. The reason for that is you can have the best ROI on a product, but you're talking a few bucks. And for me personally, I'm only going to purchase wholesale inventory that makes me $3 to $4 in profit per unit, regardless of the return or margin. Again, all of this is quite subjective, but this is what I found works very well. It mitigates a lot of risk and really protects you on making smart buying decisions with wholesale. So once a product, while we're quickly scanning, catches our eye and meets these 4 criteria, we're going to click on that product listing and look a bit further in. And we're looking for a few other things. So 3 more things. One, I'm going to be looking at the Keepa chart, and I'll kind of break down Keepa and all the plugins that I use. There's only a few. And I'm making sure that this product is going to be consistently good and profitable for me month after month. So the way I can do that is by looking at the history of it, right? If it's been selling high volume and at the same price for the past 2 years or a year, 6 months, it most likely is going to stay that way. And that's a good thing for us because we want stable products that we can carry month after month, year after year, versus a product that is profitable today or this week and not in a month. I want profitable products that last for years to come. Number 2, this could very well still be a private label product, but in a different way. So there could be 5 FBA sellers, but one of those FBA sellers is the brand itself. Although this isn't considered necessarily private label, it's still a distribution channel with the brand that you don't want to compete with because they clearly have more margin and room to basically fight with you for the buy box. And that's not really a good, healthy business relationship you want to start. So I would just avoid that. And number 3, we want to be able to move at least 30 units of each month. This is a wholesale business that we're trying to run. We're not doing online arbitrage or retail arbitrage where we get 5 to 10 units and we move through it and then we move on. No, we want products that we can move potentially hundreds, if not thousands of units of each and every month. That way we're not having to carry thousands of SKUs. We can carry a few handfuls of SKUs that are super profitable and place a lot less orders. So once we have found a product that meets our initial criteria and then this secondary criteria, we're going to go ahead and reach out to the actual brand and ask for a wholesale account. So now that we've gone over the high level things, what I'm looking for, let's actually do that together. So actually I already have one pulled up, and let me back out so you can see how I got here. So the thing that I'm going to do first is pick a category, right? So just high ranking category. Initially I did home and kitchen, which you can see here. And then I want to zoom in further into the subcategories. So the subcategory that I went into was then kids home store. I should theoretically go down another level into one of these subcategories. I'm not going to, just because I know how small all of these are, and it makes sense for me. Obviously I don't want to look at hundreds of thousands of products, but I do at least want to look at a few thousand because I'm quickly scanning them. The second thing that I did was a quick little filter. So at least 4 stars and up, because I want it to be a good product that I'm carrying. And again, $20 and up. I want to filter as quickly as possible, so I'm only looking at the products that meet my criteria. So next, what I'm doing is I will just basically land on this product page, and I'm just quickly scanning. So I'm going through, these are sponsored products. I'm going to leave that alone, not worry about it. I'm going through. So I see sold by Amazon. I see one FBA seller and sold by Amazon. Now, how am I seeing this and you don't have this on your Amazon? That's because it's a very simple Chrome extension called DS Amazon Quick View. It's free. Quickly install it, and you get some pretty nice insights without having to look literally at every product individually. So I'm quickly scanning. Again, sold by Amazon. I don't want it. Only one FBA seller. I'm going down. Same thing here. Same thing here. And then, excuse me, we land on this baby shusher that I found a few minutes ago. Now, Amazon's not on the listing. There's 5+ FBA sellers. Fantastic. The ranking is 111 in baby, which is pretty fantastic. So we're gonna zoom in here, right? So that was the quick initial filtering process. It's that simple. Now we're going to the secondary phase of the product filtering process. So first thing we're looking for, right? Stability, consistency. Now this little extension here is called Keepa or Keepa.com to get that extension, again, free. This lets me see the history of this product. And what I'm looking for is a pretty solid blue line, the blue line being our price, and then the green being our rankings for the product. Now, although there are a few dips here, it does kind of have some volatility. It's relatively speaking pretty consistent, which makes me very happy. Now, the selling rank, the green line, is always going to be volatile. It's always going to be kind of jagged, but we want to make sure that the uppermost is pretty contained. And what I mean by that is what's the highest it goes. And it looks like it's still below 250 in this category, which is amazing rank. So that's fantastic. Now you'll notice these orange pillars or columns, if you will. This is where Amazon comes in. So if you see just orange all across the Keepa chart, Amazon's pretty much controlling that listing, and we want to avoid it. Now, Amazon comes in randomly, and they're not there long. So, again, I want to avoid being in competition with Amazon, but this really doesn't seem to bother me that much. I would still jump in just because they're gone, and if they do come in, they're not going to be there for long, just based off the history of it. So I'm going to look further into this. Now, again, we want to make sure that we're not going to compete with the brand itself. So I'm looking at who the actual seller in the buy box is. Currently, it's Sproutly. If it was the brand, they would automatically, for the most part, be here just because they're going to own that listing so much. You can, obviously look at all of them. From what I found, they're typically already there. So it's a quick little thing to do. Now, I want to see how many units I should be able to move each month with the current competition. So I already know that there's currently 4 FBA sellers. within the buy box. Now, yes, there's 21 new. That's not all FBA, and not all of them are within the buy box. A few are in the $40+ range, so they're not actually competing. So there's 4. If we jump in at the current buy box price, that's going to be 5 of us, right? So let's see what that would look like. When you're running this information, there's a few things you need. You obviously need the category and the category ranking. Now, you could just take the current one, but the current one is no indication of the future. It could be just a great ranking for the hour, the day, the minute, but it has nothing to do with the consistency of it and can really skew your data. So I'm going to look at the statistics here and look at the actual average sales rank. Now, for this one, it's currently 137, which doesn't let me kind of drag it. So 137 within the last 90, 157 in the last 180, and it says that the price or the sales rank jumps at least 192 times a month. I'm looking at the 90 days. You can go 180. It's totally up to you. I typically do the 90. So let's take that 137, and we're going to pull up junglescout.com/estimator. This is a free site. Jungle Scout's fantastic as a product. That's something we'll go into in another video or blog post. But for now, we're just going to use this free little estimator. And we're going to see how many units this listing is moving per month based off the average selling rank. So the category is baby. The average we found is 137. And so this listing in total is moving, or should be moving, at least 4,500 units per month. Okay, so there's currently 4 FBA sellers within the buy box. We're going to jump in. That's going to be 5, right? So let's do some quick math. 4582 divided by all of us, we should be able to move 916 units a month. So this product clearly meets our 30 unit minimum, and that for you could be 100 units a month. And I would strongly suggest you focus in on higher volume inventory, because it allows you to place less orders and have a smaller SKU base, which in my opinion is very nice, but that's totally up to you. So we like this product, right? What's the next part? Well, the next part is simply reaching out and trying to get a wholesale account. So the name is Baby Shusher. That's the brand. So let's Google Baby Shusher. So you can see right here, there's the brand's website. Now, I've already done this. Unfortunately, my mic was not recording, so I did all of this before, which is how I found this product. So instead of me going through all this again, I'm just going to let you know that there's no email address for us to find. There's no wholesale there's no sales at babyshusher.com. And this is something that you're going to encounter. But the first thing you want to do is look, obviously, at the top navigation, see what we have. If you can find like a wholesale link, a sales link, something like that, click on it. And then we're going to scroll down to the footer. There's nothing here, so that's okay. So our last option is the contact us page. And again, no email, no phone number. It's okay. I'm still going to go ahead and submit my information, a little message asking for a wholesale account, and to have them get back to me and submit that and move on. Now, if there is a phone number, regardless of if it's a sales department, customer service department, we want to go ahead and give them a call and ask for it over the phone. Now, your conversion rate for being approved with a wholesale account with a brand is much higher over the phone than via email. They get emails every day, all day. You have to stand out, and the simplest way to do that is by simply giving them a call. So from here on out, default to making phone calls to suppliers. I promise you it's not scary. It's super simple, just like having a conversation with a friend. And that's it. That's as complicated as wholesale sourcing on Amazon gets. We start with some simple criteria. Right here, I'm going to pull it up one more time and go over it. We're not competing with Amazon. We're making sure it's not a private label. It's going to move a lot of inventory, especially for us. each month, and the price is high enough where we can make enough profit each month. It's consistent. It's not something that we're going to have to consistently manage as a product. We want to be able to throw up the product into our inventory on Amazon, have it sell through, and not take up any more of our time. The key with succeeding with Amazon from a wholesale perspective is you want to front load all the work to get a profitable new wholesale account. And once you have that and you are placing orders, you want to dramatically cut back on the time it takes per SKU. What I mean by that is if it took you 5 hours to get a wholesale account for one product, from here on out, all you have to do is restock that product and make sure it continues to sell. So you're not adding on a ton of time for each new product you bring on. You are simply plugging it into your wholesale Amazon system and letting it do all the work for you. Now, if you have any questions, because I get this is a bit highbrow, but this is really the tactics. This is really what we're doing day in and day out to grow our wholesale Amazon accounts. This is as simple and as complicated as it gets. I mean, this is the heart of it. Please join our private Facebook group. Each week on Thursdays, we hold a Q&A, Google Hangout, super casual. It's not a webinar. We're not teaching. We're answering your questions. We're recording those. We're posting them in that group so you can reference them later. You can go back to them. And we're really, really doing our best and sharing everything you need to succeed with a wholesale Amazon business. And from here on out, you have everything you need to source and get approved for your first wholesale account. And good luck. We'll see you in future videos.